Hello and welcome everyone. It is time to enter the Kumite. I'm joined today by our technical engineer, the 9-Pro Ninja himself, Sean Myers. This week we will be visiting Dagestan, or probably more accurate, the UK. More on that later. To find our next prospect, Muhammad Mokaev. But first, if you enjoy the content we're creating, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Muhammad the Punisher Mokaev. Born in the Buinaksky district in Dagestan, probably butchered that. Mokaev moved to the UK as a 12-year-old refugee with his father and quickly decided he wanted to become a wrestler. He went 22-0 as an amateur in MMA and is currently 4-0 in his professional career. So he's on a 26-win streak. He became the British Junior Champion in the 55 kilograms category in 2014 and in 2015. Mokaev's first foray into the IMMAF was in 2018, where he became the first Dagestani to become amateur world champion in the bantamweight category. Mokaev repeated defeat in 2019 in Bahrain and is the reigning world champion and was the reigning world champion. In addition to winning the gold in the World Championships, Mokaev also won gold in 2019 European Championship. So this guy is legit and has been fighting since he was 16 and doing wrestling competitions since he was 12. Fun fact, Mokaev did not have the proper documentation to travel in and out of the UK. They messed something up with his visa, so he personally reached out to Nigel Burgess on WhatsApp, whom is the president of UK MMA, and explained to him that there was an MMA championship in Bahrain and that if he chose to take him along with the team, that he'd bring him home gold. And he did just that. He's currently competing in Brave Combat Federation in their flyweight division. I'm not sure if he plans on moving back up to bantamweight later in his career, but he seems to be cutting to flyweight without any real issues, and that's without a full-time nutritionist, so we will see. One thing I like that he says he doesn't like guys who talk smack and that it shows that they aren't confident in their abilities inside the cage. Just a little shout out there. I dig it. I prefer the martial artist, the philosopher. So we're bringing him in the arena. Let's delve into his grappling, shall we? He has developed that European Greco-Roman style wrestling. He's got a very strong double leg. He's got good control of the opponent's waist. He's great at pivoting and creating new angles in which to drive. He's also very savvy with throws and trips against the cage, even to the point where he can throw them with his back against the cage, which is a lot harder to do if you're facing someone who's decently powerful or is a good wrestler. He stands high on his opponent, and he keeps his weight high. Rather than taking the typical Dagestani approach and figure fouring or wrapping the legs or focusing on breaking posture with wrist control. This helps him to find more openings with his ground strike and deliver more power with him. But this may lead to him giving up his position control on the higher levels. Because some of these people do not want to wrestle with you, and they will learn all the techniques to get out of there. But this kid has some nasty suplexes. Oh my gosh. If his opponents aren't careful when they're standing up, he'll go for it. And I'm talking about perfectly executed suplexes that'll drop you on your head and neck. He has some crazy suplexes against nearly all of his opponents. I'd encourage you guys to go check them out because you don't see that too often. Ooh, it's all I can think about is like, what if there was concrete underneath him? That fight's over. His striking. He's very fast. He likes to throw out feints rapidly before throwing strikes. I feel like he's not entirely confident in his feint game yet. He looks like he's trying to force an opening by being really quick as to not give his opponent time to figure out what he's going to do. But he's developed a really solid 1-2 uppercut combo while he's walking his opponents down. He has a good lead hook and straight down the middle. He's very sneaky about fitting that overhand in, too. He can actually throw some good kicks. He's quick about getting them up there, and with the amount of wrestling that he does, most of his opponents just don't see them coming. He sometimes throws the lead high kick, sometimes the jumping crane kick like he just trained with Master Miyagi. He has a decent arsenal, too, of spinning attacks. He has a pretty good spinning back kick to the body. We haven't seen him effectively land it yet, but he throws it fine. His opponent just, the few times they try to throw, his opponents just happen to be going the wrong way for it to land. He has a good spinning back fist as well. We saw his striking greatly improve when he moved his success train over to Brave. Overall, he's a good all-around fighter, but he does have some work to do with striking. He needs to work on cutting his opponents off instead of following them. Someone with strong lateral movement may prove to give him problems if he doesn't get that sorted out. However, having that strong wrestling base will make his life a lot easier, learning his striking as he progresses. Maybe it's too early to call, but I could see this kid growing into a serious threat for all of the UFC's top 15. I'd like to see what the flyweight division looks like at that time if he decides to come to the UFC, which I'm predicting he will. But I could see him being a future champion. I'm just going to say it. He is fantastic. He's good everywhere. He's a great wrestler. He's a good striker, and that striking is coming along nicely. He's only getting better. I like this kid. As for right now, in Brave, he just came off of a no contest due to an accidental groin strike against Ibrahim Navruzov. We're still waiting on the confirmation of his next fight. I'd really like to see how that goes. Watch his, progress, step by step by step. I'm watching this kid closely. This kid's going to be in the UFC. Just you wait. If he doesn't go to the UFC, he's going to go to the PFL or somewhere big. I don't know. Brave's getting big. But with that, guys, we'll wrap up our thoughts on our new shining prospect, Muhammad Mokaev. There are all kinds of other components that I could go into from here, but I like to keep these analyses somewhat relatively short and sweet. Mokaev has a truly inspiring story, and I am behind this kid all the way through. I'd like to thank you for entering the Kumite with us here today. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Remember, guys, this is not a sport. You don't play fight.